So I want to bring everyone in now for a moment because we're going to talk about our favorite vacation foods. What I want to know is, what is the most amazing food experience you've had while traveling? I know it's hard to narrow it down, but Zara, I'm gonna get you to start first.
Okay, so it was only a couple of years ago I discovered fish tacos. I was visiting my friend in San Diego and she took us to this tiny little place, and the fish tacos were just amazing. All the sauces, the spice, they're so tiny and bite-sized. I don't even know how many I had, but it was so delicious. Fish tacos for sure.
And it doesn't even have to be a fancy place. Sometimes it's that little restaurant that's like a picnic table and like a food truck or something. And it can be like the best experience ever. That's very cool. I love fish tacos. So good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Carson now. Carson, can you tell us your favorite food vacation experience?
Well, I have been so fortunate to have been able to travel around the world eating incredible foods from countries that make me very proud to be a part of this planet. But the truth is, I'm going to give a shout out to Montreal, Canada on this one. I was introduced to foie gras poutine, and let me tell you, oh, it was incredible. It was silky. I mean, I earned this belly the right way, doing what I love to do, which is eat good food.
Okay, over to Pay now. Pay, I love the way you eat. I tell you this all the time. I'm following you and creeping you all over Instagram. I'm just watching your food. I want to see everything on your plate. I want to see you eat it. Like, I love your food. So I don't know how you're going to narrow this down.
Well, I'm kind of cheating in a way, but not really. Honestly, the night markets in Taiwan blow my mind every time. I don't get there very often. It's usually a couple of years before I get to go back. But it's just overwhelming in terms of sensation, the sights, the smells, but the flavors. And I remember walking through each time, doesn't matter if I was 12 or 35, going through and being able to just sample and try so many different things, because you're walking as you go along and you're just having a little bite. And I find that when I travel, I want to try as many things as I can. So having like a few bites of something and moving on to the next, dish is the way that I love to eat. But in Taiwan, there's so much fresh seafood. The way that they master like a wok on top, on an overturned bucket, sitting on a little plastic stool, and the dishes that can come out of some of these street markets and these street vendors just blows my mind. And every time I think about like what I want to taste again, I think about the night markets and the street food in Taiwan.
Ooh, that sounds very good. I like that. Beautiful. You take us there with like the sights and the sounds of it all. Okay, time to switch over to the chefs. Like Trevor, I'm sure when you travel, you're all about the food. You're looking for the best places, the little spots no one has ever heard of. So can you narrow it down to one amazing food experience?
Well, Trace, I'm very fortunate, like Carson and everyone else, to have eaten a lot while I've traveled. If I were to nail one spot down that sticks out in my memory, it probably was a couple years ago on my honeymoon in Thailand. And we were in the northern part of Thailand in Chiang Mai, and I was in search for the perfect bowl of khao soi, which is a soupy curry egg noodle dish with vegetables, a little bit of spice, and some chicken. And I finally fell upon doing some research in this nondescript little fruit market, and I found this little side stall on the end of the road with an elderly woman who was screaming at me to sit down, flies flying around me. She was yelling instructions at me in Thai, but I took everything she told me and I sat down and I ate that bowl of noodles, which was like $1, and it was the best sensation of food that I had in one big bite ever. And it was such a great memory to be able to exchange the story of food with someone, but we didn't speak the same language, but we spoke the language of taste and flavor.
Oh, I love that. Okay, your story just made me change mine, because my initial story was going to be last year in Syracuse in Sicily, eating this beautiful farm-to-table lunch at a winery with Leo under this 160-year-old humongously beautiful regal gnarled tree. It was incredible. Everything about it, the wine, the food was amazing. But there was another one, and that was in Évora, Portugal, and it was this restaurant that we had looked up, which was not very far from where we were staying, completely nondescript. It's on a street, there were no people. We opened the door, there were 3 tables. The man only spoke Portuguese. We spoke none of it. He didn't even bring us a menu. He basically brought us the dishes he felt were right, and they were right. It was one of the best meals we have ever had away from home, and it just goes to show, language, who cares? Food is its own language, and it really is a beautiful way to learn and appreciate a culture. So thanks to all of you for taking us down that little trip of memory lane, since we can't go anywhere this summer but our backyards, and that's okay as long as you're healthy.